1980, 1 in 8 students attended a non-public school. Now it's 1 in 4. How do you propose increasing public school student numbers?
What I would say to that is so what I would say to that is we look at our private school system here. A lot of the jobs, a lot of the families that I've spoken to don't feel that our public school system is safe enough, that the quality of education that their children receive is good enough for their children to be in a public school system. So how do we change that? Is that essentially the question? How do we get more children involved in public school than in private school?
I think that's the gist of the
question. I don't think wrote that, but raising our standards, raising the quality of education that we have in our public schools. And I think that we are on our way to doing that. I think and I believe that we can do that by coming together as a community, that there are models that exist, collaborative efforts that we can ensue by bringing people to the table, looking at the resources, looking at the solutions that are already on the table. One of the things that we don't have to do is reinvent the wheel. We can look outside to other states and other school systems across the country and find ways to, does this thing not, hello? Find ways to provide for our children, find ways and models across the country that can fit our budget, that can fit the needs of our schools, that can fit the needs of our children here in Hamilton County. So by raising the standards across the board for all of our Hamilton County schools, then that shows that, hey, these private schools are great, but so are our public schools. I hope that answered whoever's question that was.
Then, Mr. Smith.
To work.
Hello, yes.
I was just kind of trying to do the numbers in my head because I believe you said 1 in 4.
The card says that in 1980, 1 in 8 students attended non-public schools, and now it's 1 in 4.
Now, I wonder if that's in Hamilton County or maybe that's nationwide. It'd be interesting to know where that comes from because that's Hamilton County. That's interesting. I knew that there was a lot of people that chose to go to private schools. I didn't know it was 1 in 4. So that we got some, I'm trying to think how many private schools we got in the area. So that's about, 10,000 students that are going to private schools. That's interesting. I didn't know that. We got to do a better job. I mean, it's that simple. We got to do a better job. And I think we've begun that process. I think it began once again by the board, the leadership beginning to demonstrate fiscal responsibility. And we've done that now. Well, we're beginning to really do that over the last 2 years. We got to recruit and retain the best possible teachers we can. In our schools that are struggling, we got to put as many resources in there as we can to make our schools, our public schools, attractive. Again, I said earlier, I would like to think that anybody that lives in District 3 and it's zoned for Hickson High School, why there would be any need to go to a private school. What a great place this is. So we got to do a better job. If that number is accurate, that's new to me, and that's concerning.
I would agree that, Hickson does have a lot of really great schools, but Hickson is not the only district in the county. So we really need to look across our county and look at the quality of the schools that exist outside of Hickson as well. Because there is something that if these numbers are dictating that children are going to private schools, then we need to look beyond that. And yes, I completely agree that we need to recruit and retain the best quality teachers. We need to look at the education that's being provided to them, look at the resources that are being provided, and find ways to accommodate and build up our schools as well.